to day 15. Can you believe that we're already over 2 weeks in today of the posture challenge? Today we're going to be, and then for the next coming weeks, we're going to be focusing more on targeted pains that we have in the body. So I sent out a survey. If you didn't fill out the survey, please go and do so. You can be entered to win some amazing prizes. But we're going to focus on back pain, some shoulder pain, some neck pain, and then hip pain specifically. Those were the biggest things that we talked about. And if you're having pain anywhere else, please reach out and comment below, and we can really start addressing these issues. So starting with the back pain here. So there's a couple reasons that people have back pain. Some of it can be inactivity, so limited movement. Can be not engaging your core or your glutes properly when you're sitting, when you're standing, as you're moving throughout your day. It can be anything from kind of a tipped pelvis. So that's what really we're going to focus on today. And let's talk about that just for a second here. So I'm going to stand up. So there's different positions of the pelvis. So the first couple weeks here, we really talked about that neutral pelvis. So kind of pushing the low back into the glutes and then pulling the core in to set our spine into the right place. So this is a neutral pelvis that I have here. Anterior tilt of the pelvis. If you were to think about your pelvic bowl or your pelvis here as a cup, and for anterior tilt, think about it tipping forward. So it's kind of this butt out, kind of chest open thing. And a lot of times what happens is you end up like this. And when you look at my low back here, you can see that my low back is kind of crunched and then my core is extended. So we're not necessarily using the proper core muscles here to keep ourselves in. And then you have posterior tilt, which is kind of the over tucking of the glute. So thinking about that pelvis rolling backwards, that water falling out backwards from you. And you can really see kind of how all of a sudden you start to slump forward. This is how I was sitting in my couch the other day, and I was sitting in my couch till I get a new one. But you can see that now my core is shortened and my back is extended. And if you even try just a couple of these, you'll feel some pinching pain. Like I'm starting to feel a little bit of pinching pain here just in my low back right now. So let's get started. We're going to meet down on the mat. I'm just going to check to make sure this is recording because you never know with life. And then let's lay down to the ground, and we're going to really get the core working, get the glutes working, and then we're going to do a little bit of kind of low back here. So this next week will be a little bit of a different class structure for each class. We're really going to be targeting these movements. And then lift into your low back here, and then lift your glutes up. So we're in a low bridge, and it's not about the back bend here, it's more about the glute activation, more about the core activation. And you can take one hand to your belly, one hand to your glutes, and then push into your glutes as you're here, and just breathe. And then maybe start to take some pulses as you're here. But really feel your low back nice and long and your glutes nice and active just as we breathe here for a couple moments. Breathing in and breathing out. Awesome. 5 more pulses here. 4, 3, 2, 1. Come to the top and hold. And then let's just pull that left wrist back. Just getting a little bit into our wrist here. A lot of times when people do yoga, depending on what muscles you're using, you might not either have the wrist strength here or your wrist might get sore just from not using the right muscles. And then let's lower all the way down to the ground here for a second and take your feet out wide and think about your pelvis here and drop your knees over to the right. And I want you to not drop them over so much here, but keep the legs up about 1/3 of the way, and then push your left knee forward. And then feel this length here in your spine. And you can take the arms out like a cactus or a T as we breathe here, but really think about squeezing that glute muscle so your low back is really long here. And then we'll come up and then over to the other side. So flex your toes and then push that leg forward. Keep those legs really active here. And then flex your toes and drive that right knee forward as you lengthen through your low back, squeezing into that glute, getting that glute active. And then let's come through center, and we'll come all the way up and over to a tabletop, whatever that looks like for you. So some other important factors here when we're talking about our back here is a lot of times when people come to tabletop or plank, immediately what you see is kind of this sagging here in the chest. So you want to think about zipping your core up. So spine is really long here as we're here. We're going to pause just for a second. So we talked a little bit about low back. So talked about upper back, so the thoracic spine. So 3 parts to your spine. You have your cervical spine, which is your neck, thoracic spine, which is your mid-back, and in the largest part of your spine, and then the lumbar is the low back here. And we're going to do a little bit here with our thoracic spine. So slide your right hand to the back of your head, and then push your head into your hand here. So you're getting a little bit of a stretch here in your neck. Then push down through your left hand, and then turn yourself to the side. You're not going to open up that far, but think about squeezing your shoulder blades back, keeping your core engaged, and then turn yourself back down to center. So we're just going to open And we're gonna close. And you'll feel this opening between your shoulder blades in what's called the rhomboids. So a portion of your muscle here that can really get into your spine and then into your shoulders here. So if you're experiencing shoulder pain, this might be a little bit more tight. Let's do this 2 more times. Open, and then close, and then last one, open, and close. Let's put the right hand down. Let's switch to the left. So left hand comes back behind your head. Push the head into the hand, and then same thing, you'll open and close. Yeah, keep your core engaged. So again, no sinking here in your low back as we're doing this. Spine is really tall. Ribs are pulling in to protect your low back, even as we move here. 3 more. Open, and then close. Awesome. 2. And then last one, open, and then close. Put that left hand down, and I want you to walk your knees pretty far forward here. So it's a pretty short distance between my hands and my knees, and I want you to cat into your spine, and think about pushing through those shoulder blades, pushing into your low back here, and then really feeling your whole spine long. And then just slowly come forward. Take a very small cow here, so just a very small come forward here with the chest, and then really round through that back. Yeah, and push. And then come forward, and we'll round through the back. We'll do this a couple more times, coming forward, and then really rounding through that spine, getting to each part of your spine. And then last one, come forward, and then round through your back. Awesome, tuck your toes under, and then lift up to a down dog. And it can be a short down dog here, but if you're noticing that you tend to round in your down dog, I want you to bend your knees more, and then push your butt back up towards the sky, and then push into your hands as much as you can, so you feel this energy coming from your hands, coming through your feet. And if you want, you can lift to your tippy toes here. But the more you bend your knees, the more you're going to release some of that back fascia, that kind of connective tissue that lays over our body. If you bend the knees, you'll notice that your low back here is a little bit looser. You can try straightening your legs and just see how you might feel a little bit more pull here in the low back, but keep yourself lifted while we're here. Let's go right into a sequence here. Step your left foot forward. We'll lower to our right knee, untuck your toes as you come up from the lunge, and then bring one hand to your low back, one hand to your belly, and then firm between here. Push into your glutes, squeeze into your core, and then take the shoulder blades back slightly. Yeah, nice deep breath in. Nice deep breath out. Your low back should be nice and long. No pinching pain here in the back. Just as we kind of reset our posture here. Big breath in. Big breath out. All right, we're going to bring the right hand down to the ground. Take your left arm high to the sky here, and then drop your ear towards your shoulder for a second. And I want you to click your right shoulder into place. This is too much on your wrist. You can always make a fist here. But I want you to hug your left knee around your leg and give it a squeeze. And then open through your spine as you reach that hand up towards the sky. And then we'll hug and round in, and then reach back up towards the sky. We'll do this a couple times. So hug in, and then reach for the sky. Keep your spine tall. 2 more. Hug in, and then reach for the sky. And then last one. Hug in, reach for the sky and hold. Bring that hand back to your low back here, back to your hip. And I want you to tuck your right toes under, and then lift up for just a little bit of a twist here. And take your left arm straight forward. And you can reach your fingertips or make a fist as you do so. And I want you to shift a little bit more weight into the ball of that back foot. And then think less about the twist here, but more about opening through your chest. Yeah, big breath in. Big breath out. One more, inhale. Bring your left hand back to your thigh, and then we'll turn to the right for our goddess pose. One hand to the low back, one hand to the belly, and just take a couple pulses down here for a second. Yeah, just really smoothing out that low back, feeling your glutes nice and strong here, feeling your low back nice and long. And then keeping the hands at the hips, or one hand to the low back, one hand to the glutes. We're going to step ourselves forward, and we're going to pick up our right leg. And I want you to squeeze into your glutes and see if you can stand up a little bit taller. So notice if you want to kind of round into your spine. So don't lift your right leg as high. And then I want you to put your right leg down and pick up your left leg. Yeah, and then really firm between those glutes here as we breathe. Just lifting and lowering. And look at how my low back is nice and long. Your low back should also stay long. So there's no tipping in that pelvis. No kind of movement in the upper body. We're just truly flexing at the hip as we use our core to pull in. We'll do this one more time. We'll pick up our right leg, and then we'll pause here. And I want you to start big breath in, big breath out. Draw your shoulder blades back, one more, inhale. Exhale, take a big step back. We're gonna open up warrior two here. One hand to the belly, one hand to the low back. Push your pubic bone forward, arms come out like a T. Flip your top hand up, inhale, reverse, take your gaze down. Exhale, side angle, come forward, reach forward. Inhale, exhale, reverse. And then side angle, moving to the side. Yeah, one more like this, reverse. And then let's come to our side angle and pause here for a second. Bring your hands to the ground. I want you to step back to your plank pose and then notice where your low back, notice where your pelvis is. Are you kind of dropping your hips here? Are you lifting them high? Neutral pelvis. Lower your knees, lower your chest. And then push your pubic bone down. So squeeze those glutes together and then draw your chest forward as you draw the shoulder blades down. And really squeeze your glutes as you lift. Lower back down. We'll do this a couple times. Lift into cobra, squeeze your glutes, pull your core up and in, support your spine, and then lower. One more, cobra, lift up. And then lower down, press back, downward facing dog again. Yeah, and then this time take a little bit of a bend left and right, and you'll feel how your back fascia, your back here, should you feel a little less tight here already. Big breath in. Big breath out. Big breath in. Big breath out. Step those right toes forward. We'll lower to our left knee and then we'll untuck our toes as we come up. And then one hand to the low back, one hand to the belly here. So right hand can come to that low back again. And then really firm into those glutes. So feeling this lift hip flexor, feeling this right glute really turned on here as we take those shoulder blades back, setting ourselves up for success on this side. Bring your left hand to the ground, and then take your right arm straight up towards the sky. Again, you can come to your left wrist if that feels good. Either take your gaze down or drop your ear, and then we'll hug the right arm, or right leg, and then we'll reach the arm open. So opening to that thoracic spine, and then we'll hug, and we'll open. Couple more just like this, hug, and open. Awesome, hug, and open. One more, hug, and then open and hold. Pause here for a second. Tuck your back toes under. Lift your back knee if it feels okay, and then take your arm straight forward, reach it forward. So not much here of a twist here, but think about opening through your spine as we move. Big breath in. Big breath out. Bring that right hand back to your thigh. My thighs are killing me today. And then let's open to the left. Goddess pose. So again, really tall spine here as we're here, just pulsing down a couple of times. Really squeeze into those glutes. Feel those glutes working to protect our low back. So our core and our glutes work to protect our spine at all times. And then step it forward. Pick up your left leg. Yeah, and then let's switch. And then switch. And switch. So the pelvis stays neutral even as we move here. So keeping our spine nice and tall. Breathe. Awesome. 3, 2, 1. Pick up your left leg and hold. We'll start to lean back where you so right hand to your low back, left hand to your right thigh. Keep your chest lifted, keep your spine tall, no rounding here. Keep those shoulders blades going back. Low back is nice and long, no tipping in the pelvis. Big step back to open up for your warrior two reverse. And then side angle. Yeah, finding that movement, reverse. And side angle, great job. One more, reverse. Side angle and hold for a second, really squeeze those glutes, press down through your back leg. Take both hands down, step it back, plank pose. Lower your knees, lower your chest. And then push your pubic bone down, cobra, draw your shoulder blades back, and then lower down. And then lift, it can be really small, and then lower. One more, lift, push those pubic bones down, pull your ribs in, lower down, and then let's press back up to a tabletop here, and slide your knees in, just a smidge here, and cat and cow again, and feel the length in your spine. Notice how your spine feels, notice how you feel as you breathe. Yeah. 2 more. Should feel really good here. Last one. Awesome. Then let's tuck our toes and lift to one more down dog. We're going to do a couple forward folds here. So walk your hands back towards your toes. And I want you to bend your knees a lot. And just kind of, you can either keep your fingertips here, but keep your spine tall. So notice, are you rounding? Here we're hinging at the waist. We're going to hinge at our hips. Maybe you can bend your knees a little bit more, reach for opposite elbows, and just kind of let your chest hang, but you still want your spine to be tall, even as we do this and breathe. 2 more big breaths. Last one, inhale. Exhale. All right, bring your hands back down. You may have a little bit of a head rush. And then let's walk back to our tabletop. A little bit of a different cat and cow. You're going to start to just roll your belly here. So getting into all the different parts of your spine as you move this time. So kind of taking it in a circle with your cat and cow. And again, you can always make fists with the hands as you move here to protect those wrists. And then reverse the direction that you're moving. It should feel really good on your spine. Awesome. 3 more. Yeah, 2, make it get the head in on it. Last one. And then let's come down to a seat here. And let's pause for a second. So you can sit however you want. If you have a blanket or a pillow or even a block nearby and your hips are really tight, you can put that underneath you just to get a little bit more space here. Inhale, reach your arms up really tall, and then just start by turning your arms to the left. So bring your left hand back behind you, right hand to your knee, and then sit up taller, and then turn with your sternum. Keep your gaze with your sternum as you turn to the left. Just taking a little bit of a spinal twist here, but lean back into your ribs. Notice, and I even do this, I have a tendency to want to tip forward. See if you can keep your spine tall even as you twist here and breathe. Awesome. And then come back through center, reach the arms up, and then let's go all the way over to the other side. So sit up tall and then turn. Yeah, pull the ribs back. Try not to tip into your pelvis here as we breathe. Pull your chin back just a little bit. And then turn back to the front. And let's lower down onto our back here, whatever that looks like for you. And I want you to bring your knees here into your chest a little bit and bring your hands to your knees. Straighten your arms so your knees are kind of forward more, and you can relax your legs. And then let's just start to take some circles, and you can bring your knees either together here as we move, or you can move each knee independently. And we're just taking small circles, and you should feel kind of like a massage here in your low back, and then reverse the direction you're moving. This will be the cheapest massage you probably get all day here. This is really good for your organs, for your low back, just getting a little bit of self-massage. And then draw your knees in, and then drop the knees over to the right. Keep them hugging into your chest, especially if you're feeling some low back here. And you'll feel more of the twist in the mid-back, and you'll feel a little bit more relief here in your low back. And you can take your gaze to wherever it feels good. And then we'll bring our knees up through center and then over to the left. Again, keep those knees hugging in as much as you can as you breathe. And then bring your knees back through center. You can take whatever kind of shavasana you want. So knees, feet open, knees come together. Or you can extend your legs and extend your arms, and then draw your shoulder blades back and feel your spine here on the ground. Take a deep breath in, and a deep breath out. See if you can relax your tongue from the top of your mouth. See if you can start to deepen your breath. If you want to pause the video, you can stay here as long as you need. If you got somewhere to be, you can always skip ahead. Just feel your body, feel your breath. Start to deepen your breath with all your fingers and your toes, your head and your neck. Bend your knees and draw your knees into your chest and give yourself a really big hug. And you can either just rock over to the side, or if you're feeling okay, you can take some rocks here of the spine. So just kind of getting all the way up through the shoulders, maybe all the way down through the tailbone. So just massaging the spine here into the ground. We'll take 2 more like this. And then you can come up to a seat, whatever that looks like for you. Hands at your heart. We'll end with 1 more big breath here today. Inhale. And exhale. Thank you so much for sharing today with me and moving with me. I'm so happy to have you. I hope that your back is feeling great. And if you have any more questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Have a great day. See you tomorrow.